my name is Tinaz Pavri, and I'm an associate professor and also the chair of political science. I have all of my degrees in political science. I finished my bachelor's in Bombay, India, where I was born and raised, in political science. Then I have a master's and a Ph.D. in political science with an interest in international relations from Ohio State. My being at Spelman has influenced my research and work in various ways. So for instance, my overarching focus is South Asia, particularly India and the relationship between India and Pakistan, but over the years also Indian domestic politics. So the parliament, for instance, Indian democracy, and being at Spelman, I was more interested in looking at the women's representation issues. Our discipline, political science, includes in it one subfield called international relations. So it's always, and another called comparative politics. Those are integral parts of the political science program, both at the PhD level and at our liberal arts level. And so our program here actually covers both of those aspects, as well as the what we more typically think of as American government and politics. So we've got all of those three focuses, and so within the IR comparative focus, my interests are a very natural fit. And I think many students, I think more and more, are coming in thinking of political science not just from the perspective of domestic American politics, but from international politics. And so we cover that entire range of student interests within our department. And it is in line with Spelman's new kind of focus or ongoing focus on a global campus. So we need to have students who are globally engaged, who know more about the world, because Americans in general, I think it's not a secret that Americans in general are not that well informed, but we want our students to be well informed, and I think increasingly they want to do that too. And so political science has a very natural home in that international focus in academia. So last year was incredibly exciting, of course, for everybody at Spelman. Our department was involved in a number of kind of pre-election and then post-election discussions and debates on campus. And I remember the excitement that students were just filled with. I remember talking about it in our classes, even though my classes tend not to be about American politics, we were making those connections. And certainly, the Obama administration has had a very important impact on the international relations realm, because he has made the decision in terms of campaign promise and then following it through of changing many of the so-called quote-unquote Bush doctrines in terms of the, not just Guantanamo, some of the things that most people are thinking of, but in terms of America's kind of profile in the world, made some important speeches to the Muslim world, for instance. So these are interesting and exciting times. They're times of change, and so certainly the last few years have had a big impact on our department and the way that we as faculty are teaching. Many more students who I think are coming in very excited about their place in the world, about knowing more about the world, about really thinking about themselves as, I am an African American student, but my stage is really the world.